I'm in the lobby of my building right now, and I'm gonna show you a hidden room right now. This is called the Prospecting Pipeline Generation HQ. We have a normal bookshelf, and if we apply a little bit of pressure right here, ooh, come check out the room right here. This is where the cold calls go down. This is where the prospecting emails are sent. This is where the LinkedIn posts are dropped. Right here, we're officially in the pipeline layer, and I'm gonna share my initial reflections on the end of Q3. I've been able to promote. I've just reached an account executive role. You guys see that? Those lights come on. On target earning $165,000 annually, age 26. I'm gonna break down my high-level prospecting strategies and why it's so important for your success as a salesperson. For those of you that have been watching the channel for a while now, you know I absolutely put it all out there each and every day on the line as if there's no tomorrow. I work until exhaustion sometimes, and today I was sitting there end of Q3 and I honestly feel like I hit a wall and I feel like I just need to get out of here. But before I left the office, I wanted to make a video to talk about the 7 traits of successful salespeople and prospectors. In my 3 years working full time, I've achieved 4 promotions and I've increased my earnings from $50,000 annually to $165,000 annually. I've spent a lot of time as an SDR in the trenches, grinding, making thousands of cold calls, getting rejected a lot, setting meetings, getting no-showed, having a lot of opportunities convert, having deals actually close. And it's been a lot of fun, and I've learned a lot about myself and business along the way. So I'm eager to share these 7 key mindsets that if you adopt, you surely will increase your performance sooner rather than later. If you're in sales and you're looking to get better, make sure to leave a like on this video now. And really appreciate the support and want to get this message out to as many other salespeople as possible that are like-minded like you and I. The first mindset is that you need to be optimistic and also have enthusiasm each and every day. The last day of the quarter is a time of worry, concern, and stress for so many salespeople. And I was telling a guy sitting next to me, pretty much his situation was he was a couple $100s short of his quota. He's on an initial ramping quota as an account executive. He had one final deal. He was working directly with the economic buyer. And it was either the guy signs it today and he completes it and hits quota, or the guy doesn't sign it and he misses quota. And he was freaking out. He was sweating. And if you've ever been in that position before, you know exactly the anxiety that will drive inside. And I said, hey, worst case, you don't hit quota. That would suck. But ultimately, you got to remain optimistic and ultimately hope for the best. And regardless if you're an SDR or an account executive, that's all you can do is show up enthusiastic, have a great attitude, and hope for the best. And ultimately, sales is a game of probabilities. So ask yourself each step of the way, how can you add more value to the sales cycle? How can you add more value to your prospect? How can you become more valuable to yourself and those around you? And that will ultimately help you get your results that you are after. The second mindset is that you need to be competitive. I feel like that's a cliche with salespeople. Oh, you got to be super competitive. If you're not first, you're last. You need to win at all costs, and that's all important. And when I initially started in my sales career, I was ruthless. I wanted to be the number 1 person on my team at all times, and anyone who outperformed me, I kind of didn't like for a while. And it's super petty and super egotistical of me to say, well, people who do better than me, I'm not happy for their success. After a while, I realized that other people's success actually raises the waters, it expands the pie, and it's actually good for me and the whole as a whole. So I root for others. I still am jealous to an extent if other people outperform me because I am so competitive and I always want to be the best. Over time, I've realized that being competitive looks like demanding you do everything in your power to reach your potential. I would encourage you not to be competitive directly with others because everyone's doing their own thing and has separate goals. Depending on your goals and aspirations, be competitive with yourself relative to your expectations against your potential. And as we like to talk about, work to reach your potential, not your quota. And I would encourage you to think about a competitive lens of not competing with your teammates, not competing with the marketplace, but competing with yourself and your own expectations of what you think you can achieve. The third mindset is that you need to be confident. There's areas in my life that I'm not confident with, such as relationships, such as talking with girls. I'm not confident in all those areas, but when it comes to business and sales, I am confident because I know what I'm talking about, I believe in myself, and I know exactly what I want. So I show up each and every day And whether I know exactly the answer to their question, whether I know the right answer to say or the best value prop or question to ask, I say my answers and I talk with full conviction. And I think that prospects feel that when they know that they're talking with someone that expects to get it done. And when you look at my page and history on LinkedIn, I think it just sets the tone when you come in with a certain level of confidence. When you're on a Zoom meeting, as soon as you see that person's microphone come on, say, hey, how you doing? How's your day going? I'm Trent, nice to meet you. Engage in conversation, be confident in yourself and that you know what you're talking about. And that starts with your own learning, reflection, and actually having a grasp as to the sales cycle and what you're doing. And that's why videos like mine, that's why sales books, resources are so important to your development. So if you're looking to get better, make sure to subscribe to the channel now because we put out daily sales videos. Mindset number 4 is that you need to be relentless. When it comes to prospecting especially, being relentless looks like constantly knocking on doors, constantly making calls when you don't feel like it. It's always making that one extra call. It's so easy to sit back and say, I'm just not feeling it today. Oh, wow, that prospect is such a high level title. I don't actually want to call them. Or, you know what? My power went out. I'm just going to call it for the day. It's really easy to make excuses in sales and prospecting. And you need to be relentless. You need to be that person. When the company expects you to make 50 calls, you make 100 calls. When the company expects you to have 5 meetings per week, you have 10 meetings per week. When the company expects everyone to get in at 8 a.m., you show up at 7 a.m. That's what it looks like to be relentless day in and day out. The 5th mindset, which is my favorite, is that you need to have a thirst for knowledge. You need to be a lifelong student, a continuous learner. And the superstars in sales, there's a big difference between the low performers, the mediocre, average performers, the good performers, and the superstars. The superstars are always sharpening the saw. Those who can outlearn will outgrow everyone else around them. And I felt this in my own career because I've dedicated my life in a way to self-development and growth. As you guys see in these videos by my morning routine, I'm constantly focused on how can I learn more than other people. When you're in a competitive situation, you need to know the answers to the questions. You need to know why your product or service is better than your competitors. And it's all about learning, not just product knowledge, not just industry knowledge, but also learning about yourself and self-growth. And that's why I spend a ton of time on YouTube watching other channels. That's why I spend a lot of time reading books. That's why I listen to a lot of podcasts. That's why I like to meditate, because it's all about that thirst for knowledge. And that's why the Tom Brady's of the world are always improving and getting better, because they're learning new things, they're adapting to the times, and ultimately that's what it's all about. The 6th mindset that you need to adopt is that you need to be systematic and efficient. What I mean by that is you need to have a process. You need to know when you're showing up. You need to know what a successful day looks like. You need to have blocked off segments on your calendar for customer meetings, for prospecting, for internal meetings, for self-development. Have a system, and a system looks like knowing what a successful day looks like, such as having X amount of live conversations, such as generating XYZ pipeline. Know exactly what a successful day looks like. And if you're thinking, okay, how do I actually determine what a successful day looks like? Based on your specific goals and desired outcomes, reverse engineer it. If you need to generate $200,000 in pipeline a month, how many calls do you need to make to get there? What is your average set rate? What is your average deal size? What is your answer rate? Reverse engineer, okay, I need to make 2,000 calls because of the 2,000 calls, I'm gonna have an 8% connect rate and I'm only gonna speak with 120 people. And then I'm gonna only set 10 of the meetings and then the deal size will be XYZ, then the conversion rate. Figure out what success looks like to you and then reverse engineer it. And then once you know and have a system, be repetitive, be relentless, and understand how can you get better? Take feedback from others, and that's ultimately how you will improve your efficiency. And just in my own career, starting as an SDR, now as an account executive, I'm so much more efficient, and it's almost mind-blowing how much more efficient I am, and it's by repetition. And that's why the best basketball players shoot free throws, shoot three-pointers, because the more repetition, the more you do something, the better at it that you're gonna get. And then finally, the 7th mindset is that you need to adapt and be flexible. Those are buzzwords, of course, in sales. Adapting looks like changing with the times. Maybe cold calling was the thing in 2020. Maybe LinkedIn social selling is the thing in 2021. Maybe video selling is the thing in 2022. However the times change, wherever your prospects are, you need to meet them at. And I think that this is especially true not just for prospecting, but in your own sales job. Working in technology, the one certainty is that things change fast. There are product updates, there's new enhancements, and the marketing team likes to just roll it out and say, oh, it's all good to go. And then us as salespeople, they give us the enablement, but we don't always pick it up. So it's up to you to have that desire for self-learning, self-knowledge, to actually understand what's going on in my space and what do I not know, because I need to be able to adapt with the times. And also adapting with the times looks like, how has COVID impacted my customer's business and how can I ultimately best serve them as the business environment changes? That's ultimately what it's all about. That's ultimately what it looks like to create value. And I hope you guys enjoyed these 7 mindsets of successful salespeople, of great prospectors. I actually got these 7 mindsets from Fanatical Prospecting. It's a sales book I'm reading right now. Not sponsored by them, but I did buy a copy. I'm reading it. I'm doubling down on my commitment to sales. I identified 5 sales books, and I'm gonna read them relentlessly until I understand the content in those 5 books. And then I'm gonna move from sales to negotiating, and then I'm gonna move to human nature psychology, and then I'm gonna move to money. Because at 26, I feel like now's the time to really go all in. And when I was at a time of uncertainty in my college career, what changed my life was reading. And I sat down and I read 50 business books, self-growth books as well. And I now feel like I'm at a time where I'm at an inflection point, and I'm gonna double down and get back into reading. So if you're not reading right now, go pick up a book. You're behind. And regardless, you can get caught up by watching this channel. So make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you have not already. How cool of a room is this, right? How cool of a room is this? It's that secret trap door right there at the front between the office and wherever we're at. So it's a speakeasy. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.